The basement of La Penta, it's WICR.
Hello, Iona College, Jersey Joe, back with the Sports Vault. We just went into all of our NFL thoughts from Week 6, 30 straight minutes of NFL talk. So my voice is a little bit getting weary, but no problem. I am just so excited to talk about college football. It's been two of the best college football weeks I can remember from recent memory. There's just been so many good, consistent games, and I said it a couple weeks ago, I honestly think the college season has been even better than the NFL season. Just the upsets, the excitement we've seen from some of these teams, it's been a really, really great college football season, and it's all leading to just such an exciting end result with the college football playoff. College football has got it going on right now, and it's a very good time to be a fan. But let's go over the top 10, the new top 10, because we've got some changes, and I really want to give my thoughts on the top 10 teams because there's some really exciting things going on right now. Let's go to number 1, Mississippi State 6-0. Mississippi State, man, you give this team so much credit. Beat LSU, Texas A&M, and Auburn in a row. When you beat LSU, Texas A&M, and Auburn in a row, you're legit. Those are three SEC powerhouses. To beat those three teams in a row, you are just at it. You deserve a ton of credit. That is a brutal stretch to win them all. Very, very impressive. Their defense is just outstanding. Probably the best defensive game plan I've seen against Gus Malzahn's Auburn Tigers. I mean, you go back to last year, who was the best defense in the SEC? Alabama and Missouri. Gus Malzahn's offense worked against those two defenses. It did not work against this Mississippi State defense. They did a fantastic job at preventing, limiting, causing turnovers against Auburn. Give them a ton of credit. The weird thing is quarterback Dak Prescott, I thought he played really good games against LSU and A&M, and he didn't really play a good game against Auburn. I mean, he had some turnovers. He kept turning the ball over when Auburn kept turning the ball over, which made it a little bit closer than it was. But, I mean, you give Dak Prescott a little pass. Auburn's a very good team, especially defensively, much better than they were last year. Dak Prescott's played much better going the last couple games, though. And Dan Mullen, the head coach of Mississippi State, I think there's some people who don't really know as much about him because Mississippi State's kind of came into their own this year, but Dan Mullen has always been around winning cultures. He was around a winning culture with Urban Meyer in Utah. He was around a winning culture with Urban Meyer in Florida. Everywhere Urban Meyer's ever been, Dan Mullen was usually his right-hand man. Urban Meyer is one of the best coaches in the country. Being around him in his consistent winning ways, doing things the right way, I think has paid dividends for him right now, and he's got things working right now. Now, can they stay there? That's what people keep asking me. Can Mississippi State stay at number 1? Tough. They've got a tough stretch coming up. November 1st against Arkansas, November 15th against Alabama, and then their final week, rivalry week, against November 29th against Ole Miss. That's a tough stretch. I think they beat Arkansas easy. I think Alabama will be tough. I'm not that big on Alabama. I'll get to them. So I think that's winnable. In November 29th, Ole Miss, rivalry games are always tough. Ole Miss has got an even tougher stretch coming up. So Ole Miss season could really unravel by the time they get there. So Mississippi State's got a legit chance to really come out of the SEC. They could legitimately stay there, but it's the SEC week in, week out. There's no one else who plays a schedule like they do, so nothing is ever a surprise. Now let's go to Florida State, number 2, 6-0, and the one thing for them, they haven't reminded me they are the defending champs. I haven't seen a dominant performance yet where I was convinced Jameis Winston's improved tremendously. This team's no question going to get back to the BCS title. I want to be reminded I'm watching the defending champs. I haven't been reminded of that yet. And there's so much controversy looming around this team. You have Jameis Winston last week. The investigation was going to resume against him. Now you've got this autograph scandal thing coming out against him. Controversy catches up to you eventually. I know Jimbo Fisher likes to say that Jameis Winston is just immune to this. He's just never affected by it. But it affects you at some point. This is all going to catch up to Florida State. You have one off game anywhere, And we've seen it a lot this year. There's been a lot of cases where these dominant teams have had that 1 week where they get caught off guard by somebody. Happened to Missouri against Indiana. It happens in college football. That's the exciting thing about it. They have one off game. Something happens. I don't like it. I think Florida State is a ticking time bomb. They do have the easiest schedule, the easiest path to go to an undefeated season, but this is a ticking time bomb with all this controversy. It's going to catch up eventually, and I don't know. I'm just waiting for it. But they do play Notre Dame this week. Their last legitimate chance for a loss. I think they play Louisville after Notre Dame. Not too big on Louisville. They also play Miami. They play Florida. I mean, decent teams, not legit chance to beat Florida State. If Florida State loses, it's going to be against Notre Dame this week, and I'm going to be really excited to see that game. I am picking Florida State, but like I just alluded to with that controversy is significant. It matters. Something could very well happen to Florida State. Let's move on to Ole Miss, another one. The state of Mississippi, man, is going to be very happy. They've had a tremendous year in college football. They live for college football down there, so they've got a good thing going. Ole Miss 6-0, though. Head coach Hugh Freeze done a very good job there as well. And I've never been a huge Bo Wallace fan, but I can't say much about the guy. He's 15 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, 1,700 yards. Not a lot to complain about there if you're a Bo Wallace fan. And I like Mississippi State. Very good defense. The funny thing is, when I'm doing my notes preparing for the show and I think about stuff, I'm like, man, Mississippi State and Ole Miss are very similar. Both very good defenses. Both very good head coaches, been around winning cultures through their careers. Both very similar, so they both really are built the same way from the state of Mississippi. And can they stay there? I just talked about this a minute ago. They have a much more difficult final stretch than Mississippi State does. Their final half, they've got October 18th against the Volunteers, October 25th against LSU, November 1st against Auburn. That is a very tough stretch. I mean, they play those games there. I don't know. That's tougher than Mississippi State's stretch where they played LSU, A&M, and Auburn. I mean, you've got Tennessee, LSU, then Auburn. Then Mississippi, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for them. I really do. I think if any of these Mississippi teams are able to get through it and stay in those rankings without a loss or two, it's going to be Mississippi State. But let's go to the Baylor Bears, number 4, 6-0. Now, I'm the least on Baylor out of anyone. I'm not a buyer on Baylor at all. They're just not capable of stopping a ranked team defensively. You look at this team, whenever they play a ranked team defensively, they give up a zillion points. If it wasn't for that high-powered offense from Bryce Petty, things would be ugly. And I just don't like Baylor against the ranked teams. They haven't shown me a dominant performance in 2 years against a ranked team. Their schedule's been cake. You look at their schedule compared to these other teams, these Auburns, these Mississippi States, it is just not even in the same ballpark. Even Florida State, who doesn't play as tough a schedule as some of these other SEC teams, Baylor's not playing these really brutal schedules, and that's a big part of it. I'm not as big on Baylor as some people are. I think you look at their schedule coming up, they've got West Virginia Saturday, a bye week, they play Kansas November 1st, and then they play Oklahoma. I think when they play Oklahoma, they're going to get exposed big. I mean, look, West Virginia and Kansas, cake. SEC is not playing teams like West Virginia and Kansas. They're playing Auburns. They're playing Georgias. They're playing South Carolinas. They're not playing West Virginias and Kansases. So I'm not a big fan on Baylor. I think Baylor, Oklahoma will expose them. Even if they did, if Baylor played Alabama or Auburn today, maybe against Alabama because Alabama struggles against up-tempo offenses, but I think Auburn would just dismantle them. I think it wouldn't even be a game. I think Auburn would run all over Baylor. It would just not be good. I'm not a buyer on Baylor. Let's go to Notre Dame at 5, also 6-0. I like Notre Dame. I do. But I'm echoing the words of Colin Cowherd. Notre Dame is not the 5th best team in the country. They struggle to run the ball, 69th overall in rushing yards. I do like Everett Golson. I think he's played very well, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. If they beat Florida State this week, I'm in on them. I am. I think, but overall, I mean, Notre Dame's got some question marks. They haven't played a ton of really superiorly talented teams. They did beat Stanford. Give them credit. That is a quality win right there. But Florida State, I think, is going to be too tough for them to handle. I do like the Irish, though. Probably could really finish the season with one loss. This might be their only loss, so we'll see if they stay in the top 10. They could stay in the top 10, but I think number 5, they're not the legit number 5 team in the country. Then we go to 6 with Auburn. Auburn at 5-1. Possibly the sloppiest game I have seen under the Gus Malzahn era. For people who don't know, I haven't listened to me before, I'm a huge Gus Malzahn fan. I think what he's done the first 2 years is just so innovative, so interesting. I love watching him and his offenses, but I don't know. I think Auburn is going to, it's tough. I mean, they're still really, really good. Losing to Mississippi State is not a bad loss. I still like this team a lot more than Baylor and Notre Dame at 4 or 5. I would honestly put Auburn right now at number 4 over Baylor. I think SEC losses are not a bad subtraction from your resume. I really don't. I mean, they are brutal to place the stretches these guys play. I mean, look at Auburn's remaining stretch. Their next 4 games are against South Carolina, Ole Miss, A&M, and then Georgia. That is just brutal. I mean, you thought Ole Miss's stretch coming up was hard. Look at Auburn, Ole Miss, South Carolina, A&M, and Georgia. Those are going to be really tough games. I think Auburn could legit win 2 or 3 of them, but they're going to lose one of those games. I mean, you can't win 4 games in a row against these SEC physical opponents. I mean, these are going to be really tough games for Auburn. Even if Auburn finished with 2 losses, I think that stretch right there proves to you they're the real deal, but we'll see how Auburn bounces back. Then you have Alabama at 7, 5-1 for Alabama. And I think Bama's defense is really coming into their own. You look at them as they progress from week 1 on, their defense is definitely much better, but I worry about them offensively. Can Blake Sims get it done against the big boys? I don't know. The biggest test Alabama faced this year was against Ole Miss. Blake Sims didn't really play that great of a game. Against Arkansas, winning 14-13, it was close, but they got the win. A win is a win. I'm a little bit weary of Blake Sims. I think people are giving Lane Kiffin a little bit of a harder time. I just think Blake Sims is struggling to adjust. When you complicate things for Blake Sims, you could really tell he struggles. When you go no huddle and you just let him just go and use his instincts, he's a much better quarterback. So I think Alabama is definitely going to start to make their offense much more no huddle, make things faster for Blake Sims, and let him just react, because that's where he's at his best. And then Bama, they really could finish with 2 losses, but I don't know. We'll see how things go for them. Then Michigan State at 8. Michigan State is 5-1 right now. 2 suspect wins in a row against Nebraska and Purdue. They gave up 31 points to Purdue. Purdue, in case you haven't watched them, folks, not much of an offense. To give up 31 points to Purdue for as good as this defense is supposed to be is a little alarming to me. It worries me a little bit. I'm not too crazy about Michigan State. The more and more I've watched Ohio State, I like Ohio State a lot. I think Ohio State is better, and they're going to beat Michigan State on November 8th. Look at Urban Meyer consistently. I mean, he's had more time to develop JT Barrett now. JT Barrett's getting more comfortably in that offense. JT Barrett's playing pretty well. See, he had a tough stretch. Give the kid credit. I mean, he was thrown into a very tough spot, but I think JT Barrett now is really getting more comfortable, getting more into his own, throws the ball pretty well, can run the ball too. Michigan State, if they give up 31 points to Purdue, they're going to struggle stopping JT Barrett and Ohio State. I think Ohio State ends up winning the Big Ten, and I think they're going to beat Michigan State. It's going to be a good game, but I actually like Ohio State a lot. Let's move on to the number 9 ranked team, the Oregon Ducks, and I thought this game this weekend was one of the best in the books. UCLA, Oregon, UCLA home. Thought UCLA would give Oregon a really tough time, but Oregon, just from start to finish, dominated that game. The end score made it look a little closer than it was, but don't let that fool you. Oregon dominated this game, and Oregon, They're weird. They really are, because they lose that game at home to Arizona. They struggle with Washington State at home before that. And then they just go on the road to UCLA, a really good UCLA team, and hand them that loss. Very impressive win for the Oregon Ducks. Let's see if they can continue to climb back up the ladder of the top 10. And then number 10, Georgia. Georgia blanks Missouri. I mean, Missouri is not good this year. Last year, they were tremendous. Matty Mox looked lost. Matty Mox been terrible. Missouri lost a game to Indiana. An SEC team losing to Indiana is unheard of. Unheard of. And, I mean, Missouri's not good this year, but you give Georgia credit. All the off-field stuff that happened, Todd Gurley being out, Booker Mason stepped up. Georgia's quarterback, for people who don't know, is Booker Mason. Booker Mason stepped up, had a very good game. I think Georgia really is going to probably come out of the East for the SEC, because you look at everybody else. South Carolina, not great. Missouri, I thought maybe had a chance, but after losing this game, getting blanked, I'm so off Missouri. They're out of the dust. I'm totally selling Missouri. I think overall, you look at them, they're legit. I think Georgia's going to come out of there. I think it's going to be a team from the West, probably Mississippi State, Auburn, or Alabama, but it's going to be very exciting to see. But that is your recap of the top 10. Just looking over if there's any games that from the other games from the unranked ones to go over. I mean, look, it was another very good college football weekend. We had a lot of high-quality games. USC and Arizona was one I didn't want to say, but a very close game. We wanted to see if Arizona was legit. 5-1, they gave them a good game, scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, but USC did pull away with the win 28-26. But overall, I'm just enjoying this college football season so much. It's been so good week in, week out. We moved to week 8. The season's moving along so fast, but that was just a little recap of the top 10 for you, which teams I like or not. Definitely this weekend we've got some more big games. I mean, the one thing that I think really shows you how good a season we've had is how much the power rankings have changed, the top 10. And I think after this weekend, it's going to change even more. So it's been a really exciting time. But we're going to end this segment here, move into some NBA. Got to give LeBron James a little time on the air. So thank you for listening to that segment, and we will be right back.